With so many exciting ryes that got released in 2023, everybody wants to know what's the number one rye. Well, we're going to do it blind for our ryes of the year. And if you want to find out what's number one, then stick around. Before we get started, we have to take a moment to thank the patrons.
Yeah, very important.
This program is not free to produce, and we have Patreon members that give us a monthly donation, and that is what helps keep this podcast going. In fact, that's why you're here, Ian.
Yeah.
Ian is a top-tier Patreon member, and that is one of the Patreon benefits, is you get to be in an episode. And so there's a lot of benefits out there. It's not just a donation. We'd love for you to click the link in the video description and go and check that out. All right. So this is our Rye of the Year blind.
Yeah, I didn't have a ton of ryes.
Not a ton, but some bangers.
Some serious hitters, man.
Serious hitters. So what do we have in the lineup?
So we've got a Sagamore 8.
Sagamore 8 year.
Got that earlier, I think in March this year.
Didn't one of the other channels may have met like around the year
I
or
think
something?
Jason may have.
Yeah, Jason. Mash a Drum. Yeah.
It's a great bottle.
Great bottle. So Sagamore 8.
Yeah, the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye. I mean, obviously these are single barrels.
Right.
But
you had a banger.
I happen to get one. This is the backup of the one that I crushed.
Okay.
So we've got a Thomas Handy.
Thomas Handy,
which we just
2023.
recently did a review on that.
Did a review on that.
A Parker's Heritage, the
10-year rye.
10-year.
Parker Heritage, yeah.
And then the Old Overholt.
Old Overholt, which has been getting a bit of attention.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure that everybody gave it rave reviews.
Yeah, some people I think may have put it up there with.
But some people put it up there.
Some people poo-pooed on it, maybe.
Yeah, so we'll see.
I think these are all cast strength.
Yes.
So that'll be fun.
And no finished. Everything is straight rye.
Everything is straight rye.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to taste these up.
Yep.
We're going to rank them. We're going to score them on a 100-point score.
Yep.
Little disclaimer. We did reviews of some of these. It is highly likely that our score today will not match the review score.
Right.
Because when you're tasting world-class whiskeys side by side, what you tasted before influences what you think about the other. It'll be okay. We're just going to mark that up to palate variance.
Yeah.
And so we will rate these up. We got a little notepad over here. We're going to take notes after we rank them as to what everybody's score is. And then we will reveal the bottles to you and let you know what the number one rye of the year is. So, ready to taste?
Let's get to it.
Let's do it.
All right.
Woo! Look at us.
All right. So, after not being able to do math.
Yes, because math is hard when you're drinking
It's going to be difficult. So, I think we have determined we're not. Looks like you guys. No, nobody's really in agreement. So, which is great.
Yeah, no, this is cool. It's going to come down to points.
That's right.
Yeah, it's like a boxing match that goes the distance.
That's it. It went the distance. Honestly, you said the same thing, and I think Ian, you agreed. I think that this flight was better than the top bourbon flight.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the flavors here were
definitely harder to pick up. For sure.
For the audience at home, we did them back to back.
Yeah.
And so we got to taste the top bourbons from 2023 and then the top ryes, and the flavors are more robust.
Oh my gosh.
They're more appealing on the ryes.
Yeah, oh man, they're fantastic.
All right, so for fifth place.
Yep, fifth place.
Which was our, is that our fourth glass?
That's the fourth glass. So that was you guys agreed on that. Mm-hmm. I put that as my fourth place.
The fourth glass was my fifth place. I put it in last.
You guys both rated it a 90?
Yes.
I gave it a
90. You gave it a 92. Mm. And it was the Sagamore 8-year.
Yeah. I felt that this one had a great nose. But for me, on the palate, it just came a little bit lackluster. It was a little thin. And I think that this also may be the lowest proof of the bunch. So
Okay.
it had something to do with it.
I felt like it was thin in the mid palate.
Yeah.
And that's why I rated it below the others. Again, it's like you made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, it
You're
was
still
great.
world class.
It was
Wild
good.
card.
Yeah, but yeah. So any special thoughts on that?
No. I mean, I agree with you guys. Like it smelled great. It's just the palate is just a little bit
light.
Yeah, not as robust as.
Yeah.
All right, and let's see. So for fourth place, Aaron, what did you score it?
So fourth place, I gave this a 90 as well.
Okay, and what rate did it get for you?
This was actually my last place.
Last place. Okay. How about you, Ian?
This
You
was
scored it a.
I gave it a 94,
Okay.
and I had it as my third place.
I gave it a 93, and I had it as my third place as well, and it was the old Overholt 10-year.
What a bummer.
Are you bummed?
I'm a little bummed.
Okay, tell me why.
Because I've had this a few times on its own, and I really enjoyed it. But I mean, I guess when you're putting it up against all the other hitters,
Right.
Again, it made it to the Super Bowl.
It made it to the Super Bowl.
So
I was a little surprised. I rated it third. After having done the review with you, I thought that I would rate it lower.
Yeah.
But it did better in the blind than I thought it would.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So for third place with a total of 280 points, let's see, Aaron, you
fifth class. So I gave that one a 93.
a 93,
Yeah.
I gave it a 92.
Yeah.
and you rated it what?
Fourth place.
Fourth place, and I gave it
Yeah, this was my third place.
a 95.
Oh yeah.
And it was my second place class, and it was Thomas H. Handy.
Surprising. And FYI, we did not have these bottles hiding
No. We
back here. They were, under a cover where we couldn't see.
yeah, and
them.
then we
So
pulled them
had
out
somebody
after we
pour
did
them
our
for us,
rankings
so.
and all that stuff. It's all legit.
Yeah.
Chrissy Lynn, who is off camera, does our blinds for us, so we're good there. Okay, so that was for our third place. Second place.
Now this one was really difficult for me because
Okay.
this was my number one, and it was my number one by a long shot.
Okay.
But I say a long shot. I enjoyed it the most. I rated my first and second place, I think 2 points away from each other. But man, if I had to pick one, it would not even be a question. For
Okay.
me, this was second place. I gave it a 97.
And it was your first.
This was second place was my favorite.
Okay, yeah. So you rated it number one. You
Yes.
gave it 97.
Yeah. I just felt like it was pure cinnamon rolls.
Okay. Ian, you rated it what?
I rated it a 95, and
And-
it was my second place.
I personally rated this a 92, and it was my fourth place.
And now you said the reason why you didn't enjoy it as much because it was the proof.
It was a little. The ethanol was not as well integrated with the other flavors
Right.
for my palate.
Yeah.
Okay, and it was the Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof.
Which man, I
So I
crushing that bottle.
yeah.
Well, not that one. I crushed one before it, and I picked up two of the same single barrel.
So for those of you following at home, my 92 rating is what kept this bottle from winning first place.
Son of a.
Yeah, but I'm so glad that the bottle that won did,
Yeah.
because
It was tough.
I was rooting for this guy. This was
Yeah.
the one that when I tasted it, it was so. It blew me away so much.
And it was my second place.
All right, so your second place, Aaron. What did you rank it or rate it?
I think I gave it a 95.
95.
Yeah,
Okay.
so.
Ian, what place was it for you?
It was my first place. I gave it a 96.
It was also my first place. I gave it a 96, and it is Parker Heritage Collection 10-year rye.
It's so good.
It is so good.
Yeah.
And so, going through this, as soon as I tasted number one, I knew it was the Jack Daniels.
Right.
Right? There was just
And why is that? Just because of the proof, you think, or?
I don't. Jack Daniels barrel proofs just have the way that ethanol integrates in with it, and then there's still a hint of nuttiness in there, just a hint. It's not a ton, but there's a hint of nuttiness, and so I knew that one was the Jack.
So
Daniels.
I thought that it was potentially the Thomas Handy.
Okay,
That's what I thought as well.
Yeah,
it was
just-
not. It's not sweet enough on the front
Just
palate.
because Yeah, and I just remember when we did the review, I got that punch of cinnamon, and so maybe I didn't get the sweetness.
Yeah.
But this to me was just like just a cinnamon roll. I mean, it was so good. It had the icing on top. I mean, it was delicious. So but
yeah,
it wasn't.
I had no idea. I actually got the old Overholt wrong. I thought that the old Overholt was potentially the number 4, which was my last place. But I did know which one was Thomas Handy, and I knew which one was the Parker Heritage. All right, well, we hope that you enjoyed this content.
I did.
I had a good time.
I loved it.
This was great.
Yeah. There are several ways that you can support this channel if you feel inclined to do so. One of which is to do what Ian did and to go join Patreon. We got a lot of member benefits over there. If you want to check them out, you can click the link in the video description below. But you also get the satisfaction knowing that you're supporting this channel and this mission. You can also support us by purchasing merch at bourbonrealtalk.com. If you're a whiskey lover, we're going to have things over there you feel like you can't live without. You should check that out. There's a link in the video description. And Aaron and I know each other through real estate because I'm a residential real estate agent and I service the Dallas and Houston metro areas. My real estate business has been subsidizing this channel for years. So if you need real estate services in those 2 areas, please click the link in the video description below and reach out to me. And Aaron, you're my lender.
Yeah, we've been doing business together for almost a decade. So, I work as a mortgage broker in Texas primarily, but also Oklahoma, Florida, and Colorado. So if you are in the market to purchase a home or even do a refinance, I'd love to try to earn your business. So my link is down below. You could also just leave a comment below as well. We can reach out to you. So
yeah, we'll figure it out. So if this is your first time tuning into the channel, we'd love to thank you for the view and let you know a little bit about our show philosophy. We are all about bringing people together through whiskey. And that's something that became personally important to me when I lost a loved one to suicide. And it happens when you lose a loved one. I started to try to figure out exactly what led up to that event. And I saw that my brother had lost a lot of his social connections. And at the same time, I was getting involved in whiskey, and I saw how whiskey was creating social connections at a very fast rate. And I thought, maybe if I can help you get connected to whiskey, the whiskey will do the rest of the job and get you connected to others so that you don't feel alone the way that my brother did. And we also needed a forum to help create those connections. So we formed Bourbon Real Talk Community, which is a troll-free, absolutely free environment that you can join on Facebook to interact with other whiskey lovers. A lot of good things going on over there. Free giveaways, connections. We do some online events and coordinate some in-person events. It's a lot of fun. But we needed to start our own forum because of that hate that we saw online. But those people that are hating others online taught us a valuable lesson. And that is that if they can hate you online, there's nothing that keeps us from loving you online. And that's why we end every episode the same way. And that's this. If you woke up this morning and you're unsure whether or not anyone loved you, just know that we love you. We'll see you next time on Bourbon Real Talk. Cheers.
Cheers.